Welcome to Emerging History. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss more videos like this one. At the 1960 Rome Olympics, 18-year-old Muhammad Ali stands alone, poised at the start of a journey that would soon make him one of the greatest boxers and most influential athletes in history. In 1944, near Calais, France, 7'3", Jakob Nacken, the tallest German soldier of World War II, is seen chatting with 5'3" British Corporal Bob Roberts after surrendering, a striking image of contrast and humanity amid war. In late 1938, 24-year-old Chinese guerrilla fighter Cheng Benhua was photographed smiling moments before her execution by Japanese forces, a haunting image of courage and defiance in the face of certain death. On December 18, 1942, near Cape Ndayadere, New Guinea, a Japanese soldier waded into the sea with a grenade pressed to his head, choosing death over surrender, despite an Australian soldier's call to lay down his weapon. In 1960, John F. Kennedy is seen consulting with his brother, Robert Kennedy, during his presidential campaign, a candid moment capturing the close partnership that helped shape one of America's most iconic political eras. Hiro Onoda, a Japanese soldier, continued to fight in the Philippines long after World War II had ended, refusing to surrender until 1974, nearly 3 decades later, becoming a symbol of unwavering duty and endurance. In 1991, a young boy stands before the fallen statue of Lenin in Ethiopia, a powerful symbol of the collapse of communist influence and the sweeping political changes reshaping the nation. In the aftermath of September 11, 2001, the NYPD set up a temporary headquarters inside a Burger King near the World Trade Center, coordinating rescue and recovery efforts amid the chaos and devastation in Lower Manhattan. In 1965, a young Marine private waits on the beach during the landing at Da Nang, Vietnam, moments before joining a pivotal and perilous operation in the early stages of the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. In October 1963, little John F. Kennedy Jr. waits for his father, President John F. Kennedy, to arrive at Camp David, Maryland, an innocent moment shadowed by tragedy as JFK would be assassinated the following month. During the 1989 Tiananmen Square protests, a young couple is captured sharing a lively dance, a fleeting moment of joy and humanity amid the tension and uncertainty of the historic demonstrations. In 1912, members of a German fraternity captured a mirror selfie, playfully documenting their camaraderie. The image offers a rare glimpse into student life before World War I, reflecting youthful spirit, friendship, and the lighter moments amid academic and social traditions. In 1914, Indian soldiers arrived in France to join the Allied forces during World War I. Their deployment marked a significant contribution to the war effort, highlighting the global scale of the conflict and the role of colonial troops. In 1907, Samson Beaver, a member of the Stoney First Nation, is pictured with his wife Leah and daughter Frances Louise. Photographed by Mary Sheffer, the image captures a family moment and preserves a glimpse of Indigenous life in early 20th century Canada. Around 1934, construction of the Golden Gate Bridge was underway, a monumental engineering project spanning San Francisco Bay. Workers braved heights and harsh conditions to create what would become one of the most iconic landmarks in the United States. In 1960, Otto Frank, father of Anne Frank, stands in the attic where his family hid during World War II, captured by photographer Arnold Newman, offering a poignant glimpse into the space that shaped their harrowing history. In Washington, D.C., on October 24, 1962, U.S. President John F. Kennedy speaks before reporters during the Cuban Missile Crisis, addressing a tense moment in Cold War history as the nation follows his remarks with urgent attention. At Hingley & Sons around 1909, workers forged the Titanic's anchor chain, shaping massive iron links for the famed ship. The scene captures industrial precision and the immense effort behind constructing one of history's most storied ocean liners. In New York City during the 1940s, women promote World War II gas rationing with the slogan, "Do your bit, skate to work." Colorized by Ryan Urban, the scene highlights home front efforts to conserve fuel during wartime. In the United Kingdom in 1935, a piano designed for people confined to bed rest demonstrates an inventive approach to accessibility, allowing bedridden individuals to engage with music despite limited mobility, reflecting practical adaptation within domestic settings there. In New York in 1919, a towering pyramid of German helmets from World War I is displayed, symbolizing the conflict's end. The striking arrangement reflects the war's vast scale and the public reckoning that followed the Great War's conclusion. In March 1966, North Dakota DOT worker Bill Koch stands beside a power pole in Jamestown during the North American blizzard of 1966, capturing a stark moment amid one of the region's most intense and memorable winter storms. In County Clare, Ireland, around 1890, a mother and son appear in a portrait later colorized by E. Baker Colorization, offering a vivid glimpse into family life of the era through the preserved details of this expressive historical image. In 1948, a woman wires an early IBM computer in a photograph taken by Berenice Abbott, revealing the intricate manual connections behind emerging computing technology and capturing a pivotal moment as electronic machines began reshaping information systems. In 1950, at Cape Canaveral in Florida, the Bumper 8 flight marked the site's first rocket launch, capturing a formative moment in American missile testing and early spaceflight, as engineers advanced technologies that would shape future exploration. Around 1910, the interior of a New York subway car shows an experimental arrangement where women could choose to ride separately or with men. A single man, the conductor, oversees the car, highlighting early efforts to address gender and public transit. In 1919, the British airship R-33 sits in its hangar in Yorkshire, England, as it prepares for its first-ever flight, marking a milestone in aviation history and showcasing the scale and ambition of early 20th century airship design. In 1939, a milkman makes a delivery to Streatham Grammar School in London, capturing a routine moment in daily life as students and staff receive fresh milk, reflecting the era's school nutrition practices and local community services. In 1908, a London fireman is pictured wearing a smoke helmet, captured in a photograph later colorized by Casso Ray Colorizations, illustrating early protective gear used in firefighting and the evolving safety measures of the era. On May 7, 1858, Abraham Byers captured a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, offering a rare glimpse of the future president during his early political career, preserving his likeness in mid-19th century America. In 1979, technicians repair the antenna atop New York City's World Trade Center, captured by photographer Peter B. Kaplan, highlighting the scale of the iconic towers and the complex maintenance required for such monumental structures. In 1935, Robert Wadlow, the tallest man in history, poses with his family, offering a personal glimpse into the life of the extraordinary individual whose remarkable height captured public attention worldwide. In New York, 138 years ago, a classroom scene captures students and their teacher engaged in lessons reflecting the educational practices, furnishings, and daily life of late 19th century schooling. In 1907, children play at Washington Park Playground, enjoying outdoor recreation while reflecting early 20th century approaches to public leisure and the growing importance of dedicated spaces for youth activity. In 1839, Robert Cornelius sat for 15 minutes before a hand-built camera crafted from opera glass and copper sheets. The resulting image became history's first selfie, marking a groundbreaking moment in photography and self-portraiture. An Edwardian couple, newly married, poses for a portrait capturing the fashion elegance and social customs of the early 20th century as they commemorate the beginning of their life together. In 1905, two female passengers enjoy a meal in a dining car in England, illustrating early 20th century railway travel social etiquette and the experience of dining while journeying by train. In 1868, a Glasgow slum reveals crowded streets and densely packed housing, offering a stark view of urban poverty and the challenging living conditions faced by many during Scotland's industrial era. In the 1940s, a soldier captures a wartime selfie, offering a personal glimpse into life on the front lines and the human side of global conflict during World War II. In the early 1900s, a couple poses with a Ford Model T, showcasing the era's revolutionary automobile technology and the growing cultural impact of motor vehicles on daily life. In 1935, New York City bustles with activity, reflecting the energy of the metropolis during the Great Depression as streets, buildings, and people capture a snapshot of urban life in mid-20th century America. In 1901, three children, Hattie Clarence and James Harold Ward, pose for a portrait offering a charming glimpse into early 20th century childhood fashion and family life. In 1910, a young couple sits on a rock holding hands. This tender moment captures early 20th century courtship, the simplicity of outdoor leisure, and the quiet intimacy shared between two people amid nature's calm surroundings. In 1939, 28 students gather in a one-room school in New Madrid County, capturing a moment of rural education. The image reflects the era's teaching practices, close-knit classroom settings, and the dedication of both students and teachers. In the 1920s, a family stands in the doorway of their home, posing for a portrait that captures domestic life fashion and the sense of togetherness typical of early 20th century households. In the early 1900s, beachgoers gather for the bathing hour in Atlantic City, New Jersey, reflecting seaside leisure practices, social norms of modesty, and the growing popularity of coastal recreation at the turn of the century. In 1910, workers take a noon break at a glass factory in St. Louis, capturing a glimpse of industrial life labor routines and the daily rhythms of early 20th century manufacturing. In 1886, The Old Lady and Her Pets portrays an elderly woman surrounded by her animals, offering a charming glimpse into domestic life and the bond between humans and their companions in the late 19th century. A group of friends enjoys a beer picnic, already having finished 2 kegs with 2 more remaining, capturing a lively moment of camaraderie, leisure, and social bonding over drinks in an informal outdoor setting. In 1936, Mrs. Cleveland Owens, a proud mother, learns of her son Jesse's Olympic triumphs in Berlin, capturing a moment of personal joy amid the global stage of athletic achievement during the infamous Games. In 1897, Fifth Avenue and 59th Street in New York City bustles with activity showcasing the urban landscape, horse-drawn carriages, and pedestrians that define life in the city at the turn of the 20th century. In 1902, a street scene in Dayton, Ohio, captures daily urban life with pedestrians, horse-drawn vehicles, and storefronts reflecting the city's early 20th century architecture and bustling community activity. A group of spinners stands outside a cotton factory in Alabama, highlighting the workers and industrial environment of the region and offering a glimpse into early 20th century textile production and labor practices. In 1855, Roger Fenton captures a salted paper print of his assistant, Marcus Sparling, alongside their photographic wagon, documenting the tools and people behind early photography and the pioneering work of mid-19th century image making. Around 1866, Jim Miller, a renowned Wells Fargo stagecoach driver, carries 5 passengers and $30,000 in gold. His bravery and quick thinking on the frontier earned him legendary status, symbolized by his treasured gold watch and chain. In 1919, stacks of lumber dry at the Seattle Cedar Lumber Manufacturing Company's mill, capturing the scale of the timber industry and the vital role of lumber production in the Pacific Northwest's early 20th century economy. In 1892, a group poses beside the colossal remains of Mark Twain, a 1,341-year-old sequoia that once rose 331 feet. Felled over 13 days by 2 men, the photograph captures both human determination and nature's awe-inspiring scale. In 1903, Longacre Square in New York is photographed just a year before it was renamed Times Square, marking the New York Times move and the beginning of the area's transformation into the city's iconic commercial and cultural hub. Between 1905 and 1925, a traveling salesman poses with his mule-drawn wagon, advertising over 100 different products, capturing a glimpse of early mobile commerce and the ingenuity of sales methods in rural and small-town America. In 1895, Bellevue Hospital in New York City operates one of the nation's earliest ambulance services. Horse-drawn and modeled on Civil War wagons, the vehicle transported patients from emergencies to the hospital, laying the groundwork for modern EMS. In 1886, the Cressman sisters pose near their sod house by Lieben Creek in Custer County, Nebraska. Photographed by Solomon D. Butcher, the image captures frontier life, showcasing pioneer resilience, resourcefulness, and the daily realities of homesteading on the plains. Likely from the 1940s, this photograph reveals the vast collection of books inside Cincinnati's original public library, a majestic space later demolished in 1955, offering a glimpse into the city's rich literary heritage and dedication to public knowledge. The Ritger Excelsior Pottery Factory in Newark excavated clay in Gillette, transporting it by rail to produce flower pots. Gas-powered bucket loaders created the pits, which later became local swimming spots and remain near the Gillette train station today. In 1892, Ellis Island officially opens, becoming the primary entry point for millions of immigrants arriving in the United States and symbolizing hope, opportunity, and the beginning of new lives for countless newcomers. In 1900, Lon Edwards poses for a portrait he purchased for 25 cents, capturing a simple yet enduring image of personal identity and early photographic practices at the turn of the 20th century. In the early 1900s, a father poses with his son inside their shoe repair shop in Connecticut, capturing a moment of family life intertwined with craftsmanship and small business tradition in early 20th century America. In 1872, Dodge City emerges as a bustling frontier town, capturing the rough-and-ready spirit of the American West during its early years as a hub for cattle trade and frontier life. In 1870, Thomas Edison works in his Newark laboratory, experimenting and inventing during the early years of his career, a period that laid the foundation for his future contributions to technology and electrical innovation. In November 1939, a family of evicted sharecroppers lives in a temporary camp in Missouri, illustrating the harsh realities of rural poverty, displacement, and economic hardship during the Great Depression. In 1905, a group poses in front of the Johnson Auto livery, capturing the early days of automobile transportation and the growing role of motorized vehicles in American daily life. In the 1860s, a bride and groom are photographed together, capturing a formal portrait that reflects the era's wedding attire customs and the significance of commemorating marriage through early photography. In 1898, female gold prospectors in Alaska pull a sled loaded with provisions, highlighting the challenging conditions, determination, and vital role women played during the Klondike Gold Rush. Between 1890 and 1910, a blacksmith shop in Nebraska showcases the essential trade of metalworking, serving the local community while reflecting the craftsmanship and daily life of rural America at the turn of the century. A Victorian-era lady is captured playing the guitar, reflecting the period's domestic leisure musical education and the elegance associated with women's pastimes in 19th century society. In 1927, Berlin experiences the bustle of rush hour with crowded streets and public transport, capturing the energy, urban growth, and daily life of the German capital during the interwar period.